Wow, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a crazy long week of Destiny 2 news. Tons of nerfs, which I'm honestly not mad about. But the buffs and the result of these changes is what I'm ready to see. And this build, guys, is 100% gonna be a meta build for Warlock in the final shape, featuring Boots of the Assembler and Lumina. This combo has actually been in the game for a long time, but after the massive and needed Well of Radiance nerf, it can shine even more than just some niche DPS scenarios. Let's jump straight in. Lumina, everyone. Lumina is a 140 RPM kinetic hand cannon with a very unique exotic perk. Noble rounds. Kills with this weapon leave behind remnants. Absorbing a remnant converts your next hit-fired shot into a ally-seeking noble round and partially refills the magazine. The trait here is Blessing of the Sky. Using a noble round on an ally heals them and grants both you and them a weapon bonus for a short duration. This perk in the intrinsic is very strong, giving you an 80% boost roughly to your health, and the damage buff you get is 35%. Both of those in combination is actually a higher buff than Well ever was at 25%, even at its peak. Lumina has honestly been a sleeper pick for a long time, and shout out my hunters that have been maining this ever since it came out, but now for the Warlock, especially with our exotic legs, it can shine even more. Now, Well of Radiance is still a great boss DPS and survivability option, of course, so it's still going to be used, I'm not going to lie to you guys. But the Lumina buff will overtake the Well buff of 25%, giving you the buff of 35%. And along with the Well buff, Radiant, and the extra healing on pop, it's going to be strong. Lumina and Well combination, maybe with a Ursa Furiosa Titan, I think is the actual DPS meta for the final shape. Let's go into the exotic armor. Boots of the Assembler. The armor perk is Blessing of Order. Standing in a healing rift creates noble seekers that seek out allies that are not in a rift and heal them. Standing in an empowering rift creates noble seekers that grant both you and your ally a damage bonus. Each time a noble seeker finds one of your allies, the duration of your rift is briefly extended while you're standing in it. Provides a moderate benefit to the airborne effectiveness stat of the hand cannon Lumina. Alright guys, that's a lot I know, but let me break it down. When you're standing in a healing rift, noble seekers are going to pop out just like the ones Lumina makes. Seek out your allies and heal them. And when you're in an empowering rift, the same noble rounds will pop out and give them a damage bonus of 35%. This is screaming synergy with Lumina. It even says it right there in the perk. This and Boots of the Assembler with Lumina is a true synergistic combo, guys. Sort of like Thorn in Necrotic Grip or Osteostriga. Instead of spreading poison around the arena, you're in turn spreading blessings or healing. This is going to be so strong. As we all know, looking at those nerfs, the final shape expansion is going to be tough. And even tougher is going to be the raid. So having a mobile healing bot option like this is going to give Warlocks their spot back in the fire team, honestly. Well got nerfed, but with Boots of the Assembler and Lumina, that extra DPS boost, we're back, everyone. The subclass has a bit of synergy too, as some fragments can dip into the blessing and healing combo of Lumina and Boots of the Assembler. Most specifically here, Ember of Benevolence. This states applying Restoration, Cure, or Radiant to allies grants increased grenade, melee, and class ability regeneration for a short duration. Very strong. This will really shorten the cooldown of all of your abilities, and of course your Rift, which for Boots of the Assembler is extremely important. The melee and grenade cooldown is even strong as well, letting you scorch targets, refreshing the cooldown, cycling back into one another. It's so strong. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a true synergistic combo. I know we can match elements, do things like that with fragments, but having an exotic weapon and armor piece that truly match one another is rare. And I'm going to take full advantage, and I think you should too. Lumina, Boots of the Assembler, be sure to throw on Ember of Benevolence. This is the key on your solar subclass, as well as Well of Radiance, of course, guys. Bungie can nerf it, they can tweak it all they want, but for a raid day one situation, as well as an expansion like the final shape, it's still going to be the go-to on solar. But combining it with something new, like Lumina with a 35% damage buff, and Boots of the Assembler to spread healing all around the arena to your teammates on day one raid, or just your friends on the Final Shape expansion legend mode, this is the go-to. The Final Shape expansion, like I said, is gonna be hard. And if all the nerfs weren't making it obvious, Bungie's making sure we're not gonna be steamrolling that raid. This build is one that I think people are gonna flock to. It's ease of use, true synergy, and endgame DPS applications, guys. I highly recommend you try these exotics out and get this build made. I've got the dim link down below as always, letting you pull exactly what you need. Here's some gameplay, some team-oriented gameplay of Lumina and Boots of the Assembler.
The Scorn are ravenous for the wellspring. We'd better hold our ground. Scorn aren't even close to being done with us. Destroying those cruxes is definitely weakening the Scorn. Keep at it. Powerful Scorn incoming. After him! Scorn have been dealt with.
Until next time. Good work, Guardian.
This build truly has it all, everyone. An insane buff to your damage at 35%, and a burst of 80% healing that you can reapply constantly. It's unbelievably strong. It screams team play, which is what we're going to need for the Final Shape DLC. Bungie's cranking up the difficulty, and I'm going to match that energy, bringing out all the best new builds in the game. If you enjoyed this one and want to see more D2 weapon and build guides, check out the channel. And if you think the content deserves it, subscribe. I really appreciate it, and it helps channels like mine grow. Comment down below as well what you think of the video and what you want to see next. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and as always, I'll see you around.